All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys for all your support, all your views, your likes, your subscribes, your shares, your comments. Really appreciate that. So today, with it being the end of August, pretty much everybody in the United States has started school up again. Um, so with that, I wanted to give you guys a couple tips on how to be better overall students, right? This is not just about getting grades. This is not just about, your social life, whatever. This is about being a well-rounded student and getting results while you're in school. And that could mean a number of things, but I'm going to run through three main aspects of what makes you a good student. And they're up there. So you got to be a good student academically, socially, and personally. And struggling in one area could directly affect the other two areas or one other area. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple tips on how you can combat struggling in any of these areas. So number one, start academically. This is probably the hardest thing for most people because school A is not really fun. It's not really interesting for the most part. I mean, what you're doing is probably interesting, but having to go to all these other classes that you don't really care about is pretty tough to do, right? So, but this is how you combat that, right? One, it's mandatory. Like getting the grades is mandatory. So you have to look past whatever boring classes that you're doing and whatever is not fun and push through it because you're at the end of the day, you're pushing towards a goal for something that is, your goal, your end dream, your career. It's all valuable at some point. So you have to look at that last, look at it as a first resort for your end goal. So that's number one. Number two, you got to figure out what your learning style is. So some people, I can go to class and everything the teacher says, I understand it completely and I could just replicate it in tests or whatever. For someone like me, I have to watch videos. I have to, see it demonstrated. I'm a visual learner. I can't just hear things and understand it. I have to look at them in action, right? So whatever your learning style is, you need to maximize that. So you need to figure out what helps you learn the best and then use that to learn. So don't rely on your teacher if that's not your way of learning. Don't rely on, some people it's community learning. Like they like to learn in groups, 3-4 people, and we just all teach each other. So you got to figure out what works for you and what helps you learn the best. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle to get decent grades in school. So those are the two basic things you can do to get better grades. Obviously, there's other things like going to class, studying on your own, taking more time to study, things like that. But for the most part, you got to figure out how you like to learn, and then use that to get the grades you want or get the success you want in school. And always aim higher for what your GPA requirement is, right? If your GPA requirement is like a 3.5, aim for, 3.8. Because even if you fall short, you're still going to be able to hit that requirement. Easier said than done, but you got to put in the work, right? Going to school, especially when you're paying for school, you got to put in the work because there's no point wasting your or your parents' money just to fail out of school. So that's number one, academically. Number two, socially, you can't just go to class every day and focus on school every day, and it's not fun, right? You need a social life. You need to make friends. You need to go out. You need to party. You need to join clubs. You need to play sports. You need to talk to other people and make friends with other people, and just don't make yourself an outcast in school, right? So the best way to do this is you're not going to go through school without making one friend or, making two friends or coming to school with friends already. So friends you have, make use of them. Be around people. Take your mind off of school. Take your mind off of the test that you have in 2 weeks. Take your mind off of the paper that you have. Focus on making friends and doing things socially, right? It's gonna help you expand your learning ability. But yeah, don't just be I have to be in school, I have to do this, I have to do this, you gotta focus on these things. 3, personally, this is so tough because we go through so many things that distract us from school, or that are making us struggle in school. So that's something that could be anything from maybe depression. You have family issues. You got to work to pay school, and you're just tired. So you got to figure out how to get into a mental state of mind that is conducive for your learning environment, right? So just the overall, the happier you are, the easier school is for you, right? You ever think about why you're struggling in school? Maybe you're not pleased in your everyday life. Maybe you're not pleased in your social life. Maybe your relationship is struggling, and you and your friends are fighting, or you and your girlfriend are fighting, your boyfriend are fighting, your parents are arguing. There's always going to be something in your life that's going to be making school more difficult than it needs to be, right? That's just how life works. So you gotta tackle all personal challenges that you have before focusing on school, right? Because you don't want to fall short on time, you don't want to fall short on focus, and then your grades start to stumble, which leads to you being more upset, your social life starts to struggle. So it all becomes a spiraling effect. So these 3 areas of your life are so important to your success in school. It's not just about grades, it's not just about fun, it's not just about doing things on your own. They all work together. So find something fun to do, right? Play video games, watch YouTube, watch Netflix or Hulu, whatever. Hang out with your friends, go to the club, play sports with your friends, exercise with your friends. Take your mind off of school so that you can focus more on school. I know it sounds crazy, like why am I taking more time away from school? But you gotta balance your time, right? And that's where this all comes together, is you have to make a schedule. Allocate time every day to something, right? So if you're gonna study for 2 hours on everything in school, do that every day, right? Don't be on your phone, don't FaceTime. And I know some people, I'm on FaceTime with them and like, what are you doing? They're like, I'm studying. No, get off the phone with me, study, and then call me back afterwards, right? Don't confuse everything and try to do 17 things at once. Make a set schedule and stick to it, right? It's your schedule. You're not prisoner to your schedule. Like, you made it. You can change it however you want to change it. Just make sure it works for you, right? Make that schedule and then put everything into place. And if at this point you're still struggling with school, there might be some things deeper that are affecting your learning ability, or your ability to take tests or write papers or function in school. But generally, if you can succeed, or if you can focus on your academics, your social life, and your personal life, your personal well-being, then all of that will factor into you having a better overall experience in school. But yeah, I hope you guys take something from this video. I hope you guys have a great year, great semester, and achieve all the goals that you have for this school year. Thank you, and I will see you guys in a couple of days.